Good day, everyone. Praise be Jesus and Mary. I am Sunshine Adanza, and today I will be talking about gender and development. So, let's start. What is gender and development, or GOD? Gender and development refers to the development perspective and process that is participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination, and actualization of human potentials. Now, what is the role of God? Gender is an important consideration in development. It is a way of looking at how social norms and power structures impact on the lives and opportunities available to different groups of men and women. Globally, more women than men live in poverty. What is the purpose of God? The purpose of God is to ensure that both men and women can participate in and benefit from development in a way that is equitable. In view of widespread disparities, it is a process comprising both short-term and long-term objectives, practical and strategic needs. How does gender affect identity? While genetic makeup also influences gender identity, it does not inflexibly determine it. Social factors which may influence gender identity include ideas regarding gender roles conveyed by family, authority figures, mass media, and other influential people in a child's life. Lastly, gender expression is how a person outwardly shows their gender identity. It includes physical expressions such as person's clothing, hairstyle, makeup, and social expressions such as name and pronoun choice. Some examples of gender expression are masculine, feminine, and androgynous.
Good evening, everyone. I would like to report about the gender and development related laws and issuance in the Philippines. What is this they call gender and development? The Philippine Commission on Women define gender and development as the development perspective and process that is participatory and empowering, equitable, sustainable, free from violence, respectful of human rights, supportive of self-determination, and actualization of human potential. In 1979, otherwise known as Magna Carta of Women, was approved on August 14, 2009, which mandates non-discriminatory and pro-gender equality and equity measures to enable women participation, formulation, implementation, and evaluation of policies and plans for the national and regional and the local government. In the 1710, this institution, the Magna Carta for Women, approved that the mandate of non-discriminatory, because in the past years ago, there are a lot of discrimination against women because they believe that boys are stronger than women, so there is discrimination between them. So the Philippine Issuance Law builded BAUSI, or the violation against women and children, or in order for the equality and to against the human violation affected of the women. The GOD code is localization and consolidate the local ordinance related to women and gender equality, which guides LGUs in identifying the local policies, plans, program address gender issues. The GOD codes integrates for the allied gender-related national laws and international conventions. So example for this is the DSWD and the Organization for Women in the local area of the particular area. They could protect the women and the child if ever the father would take them the violence of their family. That's all. Thank you.
Hey guys, I am going to report about common myths about gender. So first, myth. Many transgender children change their mind about their gender. This is an important issue and one we can truly do justice to in this brief format. But here are a few things to consider. Not all children and youth who express themselves in gender-expensive ways are transgender. Gender identity and gender expressions are different aspects of our gender. So, we live in a democratic country where we can express our feelings so that in that way, so that we can freely choose what we want in our life. Second, myth. A person is only transgender if they declare it at a very young age. So, while many transgender people say that they knew they were transgender as soon as they knew what boys and girls were, for many others, the journey to living openly their affirmed gender is longer. For some understanding, their gender identity is a complex process that lasts into their teens, adulthood, or even old age. So, at the same time, children in their childhood knows what they really are, and the other complicated without either they are boy or girl. Third, myth. Being transgender or non-binary is a sign of mental illness. Being transgender or non-binary is a mental illness. Some gender diverse people experience gender dysphoria, which is a diagnosis in the DSM. However, this refers to the distress some people experience as a result of disconnect between their gender and their sex. Minority stress factors often take a toll on transgender and non-binary youth, who then experience levels of depression and anxiety as a result of the harassment, discrimination, bullying, and etc. Fourth, myth. Children are too young to know their gender. Understanding of our gender comes to most of us fairly early in life. According to the American Academy of Pediatrics, by age 4, most children have stable sense of their gender identity. These core aspects of one's identity comes from within each one of us. It is an inherent aspect of a person's makeup. We don't question when cisgender children know their gender at a young age. So, why do we question when transgender or non-binary children know their gender at the same age? Fifth, myth. We shouldn't talk to young children about gender diversity. We communicate with children about gender from the moment they are born. They are receiving message and stereotypes about how boys and girls are supposed to look and behave. Not only from adults but also from peers, books, media, and through products marketing and advertising. Research indicates that this message places children in strict boxes when can prevent them from reaching their life. So the sixth is there are only two gender. The two most common gender are boy and girl, or woman or woman, man. And often people think that these are the only two genders. This idea that there are only two genders is called the gender binary. If a child has a binary gender, that means they identify as either a boy or a girl, regardless of the sex they were assigned at birth. So that's all.
Good day everyone. We will discuss about comparing prescriptive and descriptive gender stereotypes about children, adults, and the elderly. Gender stereotypes have descriptive components or beliefs about how males and females typically act, as well prescriptive components or beliefs about how males and females should act. For example, women are supposed to be nurturing and avoid dominance, and men are supposed to be agentic and avoid weakness.
So dapat daw gid ang lalaki ug babay, hindi sila magpakita silang weakness o
Ang babae, magpakababay.
dapat po ang mga lalaki magpakalalaki.
However, it is not clear whether people hold prescriptive gender stereotypes about children of different age group. In addition, research has not addressed prescriptive gender stereotypes for the elderly. The current research measured prescriptive gender stereotypes for children, adults, and elderly, men and women, in 3 studies to compare how prescriptive gender stereotypes change across age groups and address whether stereotypes or male are more prescriptive than stereotypes of females. Student studies and communities members, which were all US and majority white samples, rate how desirable it was for different target groups to possess a list of characteristics from the target age group included toddlers, elementary age, adolescent, young adult, and elderly males and females. To list of 21 characteristics were created to encompass traits and behaviors relevant across a wide age range.
So dapat daw ang lesbian o gay, dapat daw ang lesbian di na sila dapat sa gender stereotypes kay babae may lang hormones, dapat gyud babae gina sila, di na sila magpakalalaki. Tapos maupod sa lalaki, dapat ang gay dili na sila pwede sa sa
Babae.
gender stereotypes kay lalaki biya ka dapat gid magpakalalaki ka.
Good day everyone. I will discuss to you about the topic of gender identity terms. Our gender identity is how we feel in relation to being male or female. And there are different terms, description, and labels for different types of gender identities. We describe some of these terms. First, a gender. Not having a gender or identifying with a gender, they may be described themselves as being gender neutral or genderless. Second, bigender. A person who fluctuates between traditionally male and female gender-based behaviors and identities. Kung laki ka, laki. Kung bae ka, bae ka. Third, cisgender. A person whose gender identity and biological sex assigned at birth are the same. For example, they were born biologically as male and express gender as male. Kung laki ka gyud, imong lihok pang laki gyud. Kung bae ka, dapat bae gyud, dili kay lain. Gender fluid, a gender expression, the external display of one's gender through a combination of how they dress, how they act, and other factors generally measured on the scales of masculinity and femininity. Kung pang laki, example, kung laki gyud imong pang sinutan gyud, dapat formal gyud, laki gyud. Bae gyud imong forma. Gender fluid, a mix of body and girl. A person who is gender fluid may always feel like a mix and two traditional genders, but may feel more man some days and more woman and others. Kung laki ka, kanang sample kanang nguyab ka, bae karon, susunod na sad, laki na sad. Gender queer, a gender identity label often used by people who do not identify with being a man or woman as an umbrella term of many gender, non-conforming or non-binary identities. Kanang di pagkasabtan kung unsa ka. And thank you.
Good day everyone, praise be Jesus and Mary. I'm Diana Dinos. So, this is the continuation of gender identity terms. Intersex. A person born with a reproductive or sexual anatomy that doesn't seem to fit the typical definition of female or male. For example, a person might be born appearing to be female on the outside, but having mostly male typical anatomy on the inside. Gender variant. Someone who either by nature or by choice does not conform to gender based on expectation of society. Mix that is a little AG, Mr., Miss, etc. that is gender neutral. Pronouns mix, similar to miss. It is often the option of choice for folks who do not identify as cisgender. Third gender, a term for a person who does not identify with either man or woman, but identifies with another gender. This gender category is used by societies that recognize three or more genders, both contemporary and historic, and it is also a conceptual term meaning different things to different people who use it. Transgender, a person who lives as a member of gender other than that expected based on sex assigned at birth. Two-spirit is an umbrella term traditionally used by Native American people to recognize individuals who possess qualities of both genders. Z/here. Alternate pronouns that are gender neutral. Pronouns Z and he, they replace he and she and his and hers, respectively. Alternatively, some people who are not comfortable do not embrace she use plural pronoun they, their as a gender neutral singular pronoun.
Good day everyone. I'm here to tackle about sex and gender, how they differ. Sex is usually categorized as female or male, but there is variation in the biological attributes that comprise sex and how the attributes are expressed. Gender refers to the socially constructed rules, behaviors, expressions, and identities of girls, women, boys, men, and gender diverse people. Is sex and gender the same thing? The distinction between sex and gender differentiates a person's biological sex, the anatomy of an individual's reproductive system, and secondary sex characteristics from that person's gender, which can refer to either social rules based on the sex of the person, gender role, or personal identification of one's own. What are the gender types? There are many different gender identities, including males, female, transgender, gender neutral, non-binary, agender, pangender, genderqueer, two-spirit, third gender, and all, none or a combination of these. What is gender difference? Gender differences are variances between males and females that are based on biological adaptation, that are the same for both sexes. Sex differences therefore refer only to those differences that can be attributed solely biological differences. And that's all the sex and gender differences.
Good day everyone, praise Jesus and Mary. My name is Mike Aaron C. Gulisaw, and today I will be discussing about agent and socialization. Agent socialization such as parents, peers, schools, religions, groups, media, and others shape an individual's self-concept, values, and behavior. These serve to teach and model expected behavior and to transmit values and beliefs and traditions. The first and most important agents of socialization is family. Family. Family sets values, basic attitude, self-image. Mass media. Display, role model for children and imitate. Works. Emphasize organization, responsibility. Peers.
Learn to deal with conflict, competition, empathy. School teaches discipline, others, cooperation, conformity. That's all and thank you.
Good afternoon, sir. Our topic for today is about socialization. How do we learn, interact with other people? Socialization is a lifelong process during which we learn about social expectations and how to interact with other people. Nearly all of the behavior that we consider to be human nature is actually learned through socialization, and it is during socialization that we learn how to walk, talk, and feed ourselves, about behavioral norms that help us fit into our society, and so much more. Socialization occurs throughout our life, but some of the most important socialization occurs in childhood. For example, role playing and interaction with a friend or rehearsing for a job interview are and that's all. Thank you, sir. God bless.